Greetings, Earthlings! Today I'll be answering the question of when you should upgrade your audio interface and your microphone. First thing that I want to say on this topic is before you consider upgrading, please, for the love of the few things good left in this world, read the manual, watch some tutorials, and learn the gear that you have so you can ensure that you're setting it up properly, because buying new gear won't do you any good if you're going to set it up incorrectly. Number 1, don't follow the trend. Do not upgrade your gear based on what you see everyone else using. Just because you see a lot of Blue Yetis and SM7Bs being used out there, that does not mean that that is the correct upgrade path for you. Before you jump on to one of these trends, you need to hear samples of that device. You need to understand the requirements, the pros, the cons, the drawbacks of that device so you can understand if that popular item is actually right for you. I say all of that because different creators have different requirements as well as different preferences, so you really can't say, well, I saw a person X, Y, or Z using this thing, so I'm gonna buy it.
Oh, I guess I'll stream. I guess I'll buy the mic that everyone has. Stop, bro.
Number 2, upgrade with a purpose. Instead of looking at a spec sheet and saying, well, this number right here is marginally better, so I guess I'll buy it, stop. You should be upgrading to solve a specific problem or to get a specific outcome. For example, do you have an audio interface that has an extremely high latency and makes it very difficult to record with amp simulators? Well, that's a solvable problem. You can look for an interface with a lower latency to make it easier to record the way that you want to. Another example would be, does a microphone that you use make your voice painful to listen to? That's a very solvable problem. Look for a microphone that doesn't accentuate those harsh and grating frequencies in your voice. Additionally, you don't have to rely solely on your own opinion to determine when you need to upgrade. If you get a consistent number of complaints about your audio quality, that will help you determine that something is wrong, but it doesn't automatically mean that you have to go out and buy new gear. As I already alluded to, the first thing you should do is read the manual for the gear that you have and make sure you're setting it up properly, because that could be a very easy solution to solving the complaints you're getting. Number 3, order of upgrade, microphone or interface. I'll preface this section by saying, if you're looking for a huge and noticeable change to your recording, upgrading your microphone is much more likely to provide that to you, while conversely, upgrading your audio interface will yield a much more subtle change to the audio quality. And the reason that I say that is the majority of audio interfaces are designed to be as transparent as possible, meaning they'll affect the tone of your sound source that you're inputting into the interface very, very minimally. To drive home this point, I've already used 3 audio interfaces in this video. For the introduction, I used the $30 Behringer UM2. For part 1, the $150 Focusrite 2i2 3rd Gen. And for part 2, the $2,600 Universal Audio X8. You let me know, did you hear a difference between any of those sections? Now, because the tone of your recording isn't greatly affected by the interface you choose to use, what are some aspects of an interface that might make you want to upgrade? Number 1 is the preamps. Maybe they are just too noisy for your recording, or maybe they don't have enough gain to drive a microphone such as the SM7B. It's also possible that the headphone amp on an interface may be introducing too much noise into your headphones, making it really difficult to monitor what you're recording or monitor your session. And the last example would be the feature set. Maybe you need more inputs than something like the Focusrite 2i2 offers. Maybe you need inserts so you can run outboard gear with the preamps in your interface. Maybe you want more granular control over each of the individual channels, or maybe you want to add some DSP processing to a microphone input, leading you to pick up a Universal Audio or an Apogee interface. And now, to drive home the point of how big of an impact microphones can have on your recording, I'm going to switch between a couple of them at different price points so you can hear the differences. First up, I am speaking into the $100 AT2020, which is one of the most affordable condenser microphones on the market. Next up, I am speaking into the $100 Shure SM58, which is probably the most popular microphone of all time, and you can find it on pretty much every single stage across the world. Now, I am on one of the most popular streaming and podcast microphones, the Shure SM7B. Just go look on Twitch, everybody's buying it right now, so here is how this microphone sounds. Next up, I am on a real sleeper microphone, the SE Electronics SE4400A, which just sounds incredible for this price, but this is the quality that you can get at around $500. And lastly, I am on a new microphone from a company called Austrian Audio. This is the OC818, which is another multi-pattern condenser microphone, and this is the quality that you can expect out of a microphone around $1,000. And with that quick demonstration out of the way, what are some aspects of microphones which might make you want to upgrade? First and foremost, it just sounds bad to you. That is the most important aspect of a microphone, the sound quality that it produces. Is it going to fit in the mix that you're making? Does it accentuate some nasty frequencies in your voice? That is what's going to make you want to upgrade a microphone the most. The second thing would be maybe a microphone that you have is too quiet, like the SM7B, or maybe it has too high of a self-noise, which could lead to you not hitting some requirements for an audiobook you're recording. And lastly, it may seem like a little bit of a cop-out, but maybe you're just no longer happy with the tone of the microphone you have, and you want something a little bit different. There's nothing wrong with that. Number 4, when to stop incrementally upgrading. What I mean by this is at what point do you stop going from the $50 to $100 microphone and from $100 to $150 microphone and start saving for a higher end piece of gear? Now, in the past, this used to be a much higher threshold, but affordable gear has gotten quite good in the last decade, and now that threshold is pretty accessible. When we look at microphones, I think you can stop incrementally upgrading and start saving for a higher end mic at the $100 price point, and for interfaces, I think that threshold is at the $150 to $200 range. A few mics that fit the bill would be the AT2020, the SM58, the SE Electronics V7, or the X1, any of the MXL condenser microphones. All of those are really excellent for the price point, and I don't think anybody is going to complain about your audio quality, but when you do upgrade to a $500 or $1,000 microphone, I think there will be a noticeable, maybe just for you, but a noticeable improvement over the sound quality. Audio interfaces, on the other hand, are slightly different. A few that I think are excellent would be the 2i2 3rd Gen, the Motu M2, the Audient ID4, or the Solid State Logic SSL2. The thing that differentiates them from microphones is that when you buy an interface at $150 to $200, I honestly don't think you'll ever really need to upgrade unless that device breaks. The reason I'm saying that is the majority of affordable interfaces in this budget have gotten so good with the A to D conversion, the preamps, the feature set, that I think the majority of YouTubers and at-home podcasters will never need anything more than these offer. Number 5, will your audience even notice the upgrade that you just spent so much money on? No, most likely not. They won't notice. If you have a decent enough USB microphone or a decent XLR microphone and you are setting it up properly, I don't think the majority of your audience is going to notice if you jump from a $100 microphone to a $3,200 microphone. This is because the majority of online content is consumed in less than ideal situations. A lot of people watch YouTube videos and listen to podcasts on their phone speakers or over cheap earbuds, and through those listening devices, a lot of the benefits and nuances of a higher-end piece of gear is going to be lost on them. But that doesn't mean that just because your audience isn't going to notice a huge difference, that you shouldn't upgrade. My mentality on the upgrade path has always been to provide my audience with the best quality content that I am able to. The reason that I think of it that way is it gives me a bit of pride in the content that I'm creating, but also gives me a bit more confidence in what I'm actually producing. But I don't want you to get the wrong idea and think that you have to follow suit, because there are plenty of people who buy a Blue Yeti and create content for 5 or more years with that microphone and never think about upgrading. And if that is you and you are happy and proud of what you're creating, Godspeed to you, and I wish you the best of luck. I'm not trying to change you. Number 6, determining if you should upgrade. I hate to say it, but this next section is going to contain a lot of money talk, and to be completely transparent, I am financially conservative, meaning I am very risk-averse when it comes to spending money. So for the majority of people who are making YouTube videos or podcasts as a hobby, I believe that an entry-level setup is going to be perfectly fine and provide you with a very usable quality. But I know you're going to ask, if you have an entry-level setup, when do you upgrade? I believe that if nothing in your setup is broken and you aren't getting complaints from your audience, that you should not upgrade. Instead, what I would recommend is learning how to do some post-processing, as well as developing a really deep understanding of the gear that you have, so you can much more easily manipulate it to get the sound that you want. But on the other hand, if you're somebody who has a little bit more disposable income, or you're starting to earn some money off of streaming or podcasting or YouTubing, that's when I think you should start to consider upgrading if that's something you're interested in. This is where you really get to play around and your preference really starts to come into play and you get to have a lot of fun with it. And in both of these examples, there is one thing that's consistent across both. You should not be going into debt to buy audio gear. When you're getting your first audio setup or when you're upgrading down the road, you should do everything in your power to avoid going into debt to do that, because going into debt is extremely dangerous, especially in times like right now. So if you can't afford it, please hold off until you can, and you will appreciate it that much more. So please just be responsible when you're buying new gear. Number 7, have some fun, bruh. With all of that being said, you don't have to follow any of the advice or any of the tips that I've laid out in this video, because everybody's upgrade path is going to be different. Everybody's content creation path is going to be different. If you bought a Blue Yeti and you are making millions of dollars and you don't think that you have to upgrade, amazing. I am glad that you are happy with what you have, but also, if you are filthy rich and want to buy every microphone and every interface on the market, more power to you, because there are much more expensive and much more dangerous habits and hobbies out there, and at least you're not on your knees in a truck stop bathroom for a microphone. Look on the bright side, right? All right, that is going to wrap up for today. I know it got a little bit dark there, but I hope you found this helpful. I hope this helps you understand whether or not you need to upgrade and help you decide what your future upgrade path is. If you found this video fun, interesting, or helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, big ol' thumbs down. If you want more videos just like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. If you want to hang out in the Discord server, podcastage.com/Discord. And if you want to support the channel and become one of these amazing people over here, you can do so by clicking that join button and joining at the $5 tier or higher. It really does help me continue to bring you these videos. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you next time. Bye.